Hello everyone, welcome to this week's PSCD Assembly. It's week 2 of Spring 2 and the PSC trait that we're looking at this week is communication, but our musician of the week, which we're going to start with, is someone called Grieg. So I'm just going to play you a little bit of it and then you can answer some of these questions for me. Pause that there. I'm just going to bring it back, see if there's something slightly different earlier on. Okay, so I wonder if you could work out what genre of music it was, whether you liked it or not. Did you recognise any snippets of that? And are there any other composers that you know that might be similar to Grieg? So maybe pause the recording here and then press play when you're ready to hear some of the answers. Okay, so hopefully, or well done if you worked out that Grieg is a classical composer. It's classical music. Obviously, it's up to you whether you liked it or not. I certainly quite like it. I think it's nice and calm and relaxing music to listen to if you're doing something that you want to relax to. You might not have recognised any of the pieces, but some of your adults might recognise that piece that we're playing at the moment. Somewhere is music that you might recognise from an advert, if I could find it. Yeah, I really like that piece. It's been used as the music for the Alton Towers advert, and I really like it how it gets kind of faster and faster and a little bit louder and louder. So yeah, you might listen out for that next time you see the telly and there's any adverts on. And any other composers that you might have known? So far this year, I think we've looked at Beethoven, we've looked at Bach, we had Tchaikovsky not long ago, and Mozart. They're some of the most famous classical composers, similar to Grieg. Okay, so as I mentioned, this week's assembly is communication. This is actually the second time we've looked at communication this year because it's such an important one. It's all about being able to communicate your ideas clearly in a variety of ways appropriate to the audience. So here are the different success criteria for each phase. Are slightly different. So in phase 1, it's a lot about knowing the audience, who and why you're speaking to them, being able to listen to others, taking turns. In phase 2, again, it's been able to adjust how you communicate, listening again, pros and cons of different methods of communication, and then similarly up into phase 3, it's being able to adjust how you communicate, being an active listener, knowing how to stay safe online. Okay, so there's lots of similarities throughout the phases. Now this week it's World Book Day, which links really nicely to communication. So that's actually on Thursday of this week. It's a huge celebration of books, which are a massive part of communication. And so hopefully you saw the information that came out onto Google Classroom last week, telling you that you could dress up, whether you're at home or in school. And again, you'll be doing lots of activities on the day. And hopefully there will be a special performance coming out of The Last Wolf by the staff. So definitely look out for that. It should be a lot of fun. Right, so Do you ever change how you communicate? Well, there's a few different places where you might change how you communicate, and I think a lot of it depends on where you are. So if you're in the playground, you communicate quite differently to when you're in the classroom, and probably when you're at home, or if you're in a public building, so whether that's a church or a mosque or a library or something like that, you have to change how you communicate, particularly in terms of the level of your volume. It also depends who you're speaking to. So if you're speaking to a member of your family, even within your family, it probably changes. If you're speaking to one of your siblings or a cousin, you might speak to them quite differently to how you'd speak to your parent or a grandparent. And the way you speak to your friends is probably not the same as you speak to people like teachers, or if you're going to the doctors or anything like that. So it really depends who you're speaking to. Another big thing is, can the person understand you? So that might be because you don't speak the same language. It might be because they're a little bit older, or they're a little bit younger and they don't have the same vocabulary that you do. It might even be to do with the slang. You might know some words or some phrases that the people you're speaking to don't understand. So that's another way that you might need to change how you communicate. And finally, it depends on what's the easiest or most appropriate for that situation. So sometimes the best thing to do is to have a phone call with someone. So at the moment at school, that's one of the only ways that your teachers can speak to you, is via a phone call. Sometimes it's good to be able to write a text message or send an email, because that's the quickest and easiest thing to do. And sometimes appropriate. Okay, so everyone has to change how they communicate sometimes, and it's really important that you know when it's appropriate to do different things. Now, what I'd like you to do is watch this little clip and think, who do you think would benefit from having this available to them?
From the creators of Tangled and Wreck-It Ralph, Disney. A carrot-nosed, coal-eyed snowman shuffles up to a purple flower peeping out of deep snow.
Ooh, hello.
He takes a deep sniff. His nose lands on a frozen pond. A reindeer looks up and pants like a dog. Seeing the reindeer slip on the ice, the snowman smiles and moves towards him, though actually he's running on the spot. The reindeer falls on his chin. The snowman uses his arm as a crutch. The reindeer paddles his front legs. Head over heels, the snowman crawls along the ice. The reindeer does the breaststroke. The snowman rolls his body, but flips onto his back. The reindeer's tongue sticks to the ice. The snowman held his head. Twig arm and reindeer lips tug at the carrot. The carrot flies off and lands in soft snow. The reindeer goes after it with Snowman and his body parts hanging on his tail. The snowman puts himself back together again and glumly contemplates his noseless state. The reindeer jams the carrot back in place and pants like a proud puppy.
Okay, so hopefully you enjoyed that. It always makes me laugh. Who do you think would benefit from that? So it's a clip from the film Frozen. Who do you think would benefit from this? So if you pause the video and just have a little think about that, and then unpause it when you're ready to hear what I think. Okay, so as you can see here, it says trailer with audio description, and a lot of films and TV programs have something called audio description. That's to help people who might be blind or who can't see as well, who are visually impaired. And so if they can't see what's on the screen, audio description helps for them to picture it in their minds. Okay, so it's really, really helpful. So what I'd like you to do is to close your eyes whilst I play this little bit and see if the audio description helps you to picture what's going on. So make sure you've closed your eyes.
Hundreds of animals gather at the bottom of Pride Rock, a tall, flat ledge that towers over the rest of the savannah. Zazu, a small blue bird with a large beak, flaps to the ledge. He bows to Mufasa, a powerful, dignified lion with a thick red mane. Rafiki, an elderly baboon with white hair, slowly climbs up to the ledge and hugs Mufasa warmly. They walk back to a cave where Mufasa's wife, Sarabi, cuddles a tiny lion cub in her paws. Smiling.
Okay, so you can open your eyes now. So hopefully that was quite interesting for you, because some of you might have seen The Lion King before and you might already have the image in your head. But if you haven't, or even if you have, hopefully you were able to create a little picture in your mind based on what was being spoken there. Okay, so that's really, really helpful for anyone that's visually impaired.
Ugh! My tummy rumbles when I'm hungry. Ugh! Shall we see what types of food we consign together? Sorry.
Sandwich. Ah, look. Sandwich. You sign. Sandwich. Oh, look. Sandwich. Fruit. Ah, look. Fruit. You sign. Fruit. Oh, look! Fruit! Scrambled egg. Ah, look! Scrambled egg. You sign. Scrambled egg. Oh, look! Scrambled egg. Look! Cheese. You sign cheese. Look! Cheese. Raspberries. Ah, look! Raspberries. You sign raspberries. Oh, look! Raspberries. Potatoes. Ah, look! Potatoes. You sign potatoes.
Tell Peter, fly home for dinner. Tell Peter, hit pop flies and homers. Tell Peter, prop planes are for flyers. Tell Peter, put your wet socks in the dryer. Tell Peter, rock stars are admired. Tell Peter, crocodiles are bad liars. Tell Peter, lobsters are good hiders. Tell Peter my monster truck has big tires. Tell Peter I'm too high up on this wire. Tell Peter something smells like fire. Tell Peter there's a giant monster lobster named Homer. He smells like sucks and he breathes red fire. His eyes blaze like stars and he rides a crocodile that flies and he's coming to this wire. Tell Peter to fly far, far away. He's too young to be somebody's dinner.
Hey, Peter. Your mom says fly home for dinner.
The end.